Okay guys, I'm gonna set it up so we can fill up our water bucket. Well, hello St. Peter's and my summer reading explorer friends. We are gonna have some fun with water today. So I was just setting up, can you see? I have a sprinkler behind me and it's spraying into that big water tub. It's a hot day. I thought it would be really fun to have some water fun, to stay cool on our explorer adventure on this very hot summer day. What do you think? My friends came today with their Adirondack chair. It's a fancy name for a chair. So they're here ready to get cool in the water. We have Ralph, Magic Monkey, Daisy, and our Pig of Joy with her jar of joy tucked safely behind her. Are you ready for some fun? Let's see what story we have today on our adventure. Here it is. All right, so we are staying cool in the shade. I want you to find a nice cool spot while we read the story. Did you find one? Then let's get ready for our story. Let's turn up our ears so we're ready to listen. Turn off our mouth so we don't make a sound. Put your hands quietly in your lap. Take a nice big deep breath. And now we're ready for our story. I found this one in our school library as I was working in there this summer. And it is perfect for a water fun summer day. Look at this cute little duck. That's why I'm wearing this around my neck. Doesn't it look like a duck bill? It kind of matches hers. You want to hear it? Listen. It kind of sounds like a duck call. I don't know, maybe if I go to a duck pond, they would answer me back. Maybe I should try that. So this very cute, adorable little duckling is named Ruby, and our story is called This Way, Ruby. Our author is Jonathan Emmett, and our illustrator is Rebecca Harry. Here we go. You ready, guys? Me too. Once upon a time, upon a nest, beside a lake, there lived a family of ducks. Now, do you know when you see the male duck with a green head like that, and he's got a brown body, do you know what kind of ducks those are? They have a special name. Those are called mallards, mallard ducks. So that's the kind of duck family that they are. There was a mother duck, a father duck, and 5 young ducklings. 4 of the ducklings were big and bold and were always rushing off in search of an adventure. Their names were Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca. But the 5th duckling was small and steady and took things slowly in her own time. And her name was Ruby. They all begin with the letter R. It was a bright spring day, and Mother Duck and Father Duck were snoozing in the sun. "Let's go and explore," said Rufus, running down, splash, into the water. Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca ran straight after him, but Ruby stayed by the nest. "This way, Ruby," called the others. Ruby didn't want to be left behind, so she swam after them. She's a little bit nervous, but she still wanted to play with her brothers and sisters. Ruby caught up with them at the edge of the reed beds. Reeds are the tall grasses that grow in the pond. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca raced on through a gap in the tall green stems. But Ruby stopped to look around. She saw a small waterfall that sparkled in the sun and a great golden fish that glimmered in the depths. She's taking a moment to observe, just like we've been doing. She's a good observer. That's how we all want to try to be when we go out on adventures. Ruby joined the other ducklings in the middle of the reed beds. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca rushed off down a winding waterfall. But Ruby stopped to look around. She saw the water lilies with their bright purple flowers and the 4 fat frogs that lay lazing on the leaves. Let's see if we can see all those frogs. 4 of them, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And those other ducks didn't even notice. That's a pretty cool thing to see. "Look," said Ruby. But the others did not stop. "This way, Ruby," they called. Ruby found the other ducklings at the far side of the reed beds. Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca ran straight up the grassy bank. But once more, Ruby stopped to look around. She saw the dragonflies that wave along the waterline. See the dragonflies? Just them down here by my finger. And the willow tree that bent across the bank. That kind of tree is called a willow tree. Some people call it a weeping willow because it looks like it's shedding tears as it cries into the river. It's a really pretty tree. And she saw the black storm cloud that was sweeping across the sky. "Look," said Ruby. But the others did not stop. "This way, Ruby," they called. Oh no, Rufus, Rory, Rosie, and Rebecca were rambling through the long grass when a flash of lightning lit the sky above them and a crash of thunder filled the air. "This way," they cried, and they all ran off in different directions and then ran back again. They were lost and they were scared and they wanted to go home, but they didn't know which way to go. The ducklings huddled together anxiously as something rustled through the grass. Oh no, what do you think it is? It was Ruby. Ruby was scared too, but she did know which way to go. She spotted the top of the willow tree sticking up above the long grass. "This way," she called. Because she was a good observer, right? With her eyes, she knew all of the things they had passed along the way. Ruby led the other ducklings down the bank and out onto the water. Then she spotted the bright purple flowers floating among the reeds. Ruby arrived at the water lilies and stopped. The water wound off in many directions, and they all looked the same. She could not see which way to go. I wonder how she's going to figure it out. "Which way, Ruby, which way?" cried the other ducklings as the big black storm cloud moved across the sun. "Shush," said Ruby. Then she swam around slowly until she could just hear it. The gurgling of the waterfall. "This way," she said, following the sound. She used her ears and remembered what that waterfall sounded like. She is a very smart duckling. Where have you been?" called Father Duck as the ducklings popped out of the reed beds. "We had an adventure," panted Rufus. "And we got lost," gasped Rory. "But Ruby found us," added Rosie. "And brought us home," Rebecca said. "Well done, Ruby," said Mother Duck proudly. But Ruby had already gone. Where did she go? The storm cloud had moved off, but Ruby felt that they'd done enough exploring for one day. It was time to go home. "This way, everyone," she called. And she could lead them all the way home. Wasn't she so smart? What a good observer. She could be one of our explorer adventurers, don't you think? Good job, Ruby. Did you notice those ducklings on their entire adventure were swimming in the pond, in the water. So we're gonna play like ducks today. What do you say? Let's see what's in our pack to help us out on that adventure. What do we have? You're gonna be surprised. Look what I have. My own ducky. It's a rubber duck. Have you ever seen a maroon rubber duck? I know, they come in all colors, just like people. So usually we see yellow rubber ducks, but today I have a maroon one. I'm going to use this to play in the water. And remember, when I put my big tub back there, it should be full by now. My sprinkler's been going this whole time. Of course, it's always fun to run through a sprinkler or a hose if you have one, but some of us may not have a sprinkler at home. Guess what? Everybody has water, and I'm going to show you some really fun water games to play, okay? So let me get that tub of water. Oh yes, it is very full. And I brought this stool here so that you can see it in the camera. Now, in my tub, all I did was go through like a couple drawers in my kitchen. I went and I looked in my basement a little bit, and here are some things that I found. I found a metal strainer. I have a measuring cup. Watch what happens. Ooh, the water's so nice and cool. Watch what happens when I put it through. It runs right through. You could get some grass, right? Put it in your water, and then use your strainer to get the grass. The water drips out, and look what you're left with. Just the grass. That helps skim it out. If you have a pool, you might have something like that with a net that skims out the leaves out of your pool. You can shake them back in the grass, right? I also have another, this one's kind of the same idea, but it has bigger holes in it. Let's see how the water runs through this one. That looks like a sprinkler. You could even put that on top of your head and dump it right over. It looks like it's raining. Isn't that fun? And look, it caught one piece of grass that must have still been in there. Boop. I also have this. Do you know what this is called? This is a funnel. See, you can see through it. It's wider at the top and skinny at the bottom, so you could fill up other things like, guess what else I found? An empty milk jug. I happen to have one in my basement. You're welcome to Mrs. Whitmer because I'm saving them for her. You're gonna see what we do with them at school. Now watch this. If I put the funnel on the top, bloop, and hold it there and use my measuring cup, it doesn't even matter what size. And it doesn't have to be a measuring cup. Maybe you just have like an old plastic cup or a paper cup. Whatever cup you drink out of you could use. I just wouldn't recommend using glass because when you're playing with water, sometimes things get slippery. And you wouldn't want things to break and get people to get hurt, so don't do that. Watch this. As I pour it in, it's gonna fill up my milk jug. A fun thing you could do is to see how many scoops of however big your cup is it takes to fill it up. We're not gonna fill it all the way up today, but I'm gonna show you. Let's see if you can see how this funnel works a little bit closer. We'll see. It might end up spilling a little bit. That's all right, we're outside. We're playing in the water. I'm just gonna try to hold it like this. You ready? I'm gonna dump the water in. You can't really see it because I can't get it out of the way. Let's try from up top. You could kind of see it go down that hole, right? So it goes down, but if I tried to pour it into the cup, the thing just without the funnel, I could still do it, but it'd be a little bit trickier. I have to pour a lot slower to make sure I didn't spill on the outside. But that's something else you can try and practice, right? So those are all good fun games to just like experiment, see what kind of things you can sieve out. Got my rubber ducky. The cool thing about rubber ducks, no matter what color you have, what size you have, some of them even have costumes on. I've seen a Batman rubber duck. Can you believe that? I've seen a construction worker rubber duck and a fireman rubber duck. They all float. What a fun experiment to go around your yard and find things and see if they'll sink to the bottom like this did. See how that sunk down? Watch. Let's put it back in. As soon as it fills up with water, it sinks to the bottom. So in our tub right now, we have one sinker and one floater, right? You can try rocks. Do you think a rock would sink or float? You can try leaves from the tree. Do you think leaves would sink or float? I'm not going to tell you. I want you to try it in your water experiment. You can even write it down in your Explorer's Journal that we have. Check off the things that sink and the things that float. There's also something else you can do. Play a game. You can make up games anywhere you are with the things that you have around the house. So one game that I think would be really fun is to take a ball, because you know what the ball's going to do? It's going to make a big splash. So if you step back from your water, I'm almost in the sprinkler, and try to toss it in, let's see how much of a splash it'll make. I think it almost got you, right? The further you stand back, the bigger the splash, because the ball's going to come in landing further. You can play this with anyone at your house. Spread out in the yard, see who can get it in or who can make the biggest splash. Make up your own games. Run through the sprinkler, have some fun. Just stay cool with some water time fun. Isn't that cool? I like it. It made me feel cooler already playing in that water. I'm going to put this aside now because guess what time it is? It's time to spread some joy. Now I know we feel really excited. We are full of joy because we've been having so much fun playing in the water. I could play in the water all day. I feel cooler already. It's good to sit in the shade while you play in the water, but as long as you're by it, you're going to feel cooler than just being out in the sunshine. And as I said, you don't need a pool. You don't need your own sprinkler. Just fill up a tub of cool water. All right, Joy, we need to spread some joy. She is always ready to spread some joy. Just like all of you. I am so proud of you for going on these adventures with me and for spreading your joy, because I think together we're making a lot of people feel really good. What do you think? I agree. Let's see. How are we going to spread some joy today? Oh, this one is beautiful. You ready? And so easy to do. Smile at everyone you see. Just smile. That's free. Doesn't take any time. And sometimes if people are feeling grumpy and they look up and see you smiling at them, all of a sudden they're going to smile back. And maybe they won't even remember why they were so grumpy, right? Spread your joy and smile. I know you all have amazingly beautiful smiles. I miss those the most. So spread that joy with your smile. All right, final thing. You know what we need to do now. We are going to get out our Summer Reading Explorer Adventures log, and we are going to fill in our stamp because we have just completed another Explorer mission. We're getting really good at these. So today we played in water, so I think I'm gonna make just like, they'll look like raindrops kind of. It hasn't rained for a long time, so guess what? As you play in the water, you'll end up watering your grass or the plants around you. They'll probably like that as well. They'll be thankful. So today I filled out some little raindrops. Maybe we'll get rain soon. Let's see how many adventures we have completed. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We are up to 12 adventures, boys and girls. It has been a great time. All right, I'm going to tuck that away so I have it for next time. We don't forget to fill that out. See what kind of things you can find, plastic, not glass, around your house, in your basement, maybe even things you play with in the bathtub. You could bring them outside and play in the water outside today, right? Just ask your parents first what's okay to take outside and play in some water. Have some exciting water adventure fun water adventures. Yeah, or water adventure fun. However you say it, whatever way you play it, let me know how it goes. Send me a picture, send me a comment. I would love to hear how you cooled off on these hot, hot summer days. All right, boys and girls, until then, until I see you next week, keep spreading your joy.